Every other day we hear about yet another young person who suffered a sudden cardiac arrest. A disease that was associated with age is suddenly on all of our minds. Most of us can't help thinking, are we going to be next? Alright, should you really be worried? Well, the short answer is yes, because our food industry, pharma industry, and the current health guidelines are designed to keep you sick. The healthcare industry, they are overwhelmed just managing symptoms and keeping us alive after the disease has found us. Alright, it's not all gloom, because there is a lot that you can actually do about this situation. In this video, we're going to look at the top 5 things that you should be doing to reduce your risk of heart disease. But before that, we will take a closer look to understand a couple of the root causes and really learn how to analyze and assess our risk for heart disease. Because honestly, it's not as straightforward as we were made to believe. Now, most of us grew up thinking that high cholesterol is the main culprit behind heart attacks. And this led to us fearing fat and cholesterol in our diet. Well, this is just half the story. And as you know, half-baked truths can be super dangerous. And this actually has been dangerous because this fear of fat and cholesterol in our diet gave rise to a full-blown industry of fat-free and slim foods. What's the problem, you ask me? Well, when food is stripped out of its natural fat, they are replaced with artificial sweeteners, fillers, binders, artificial flavors. In fact, these sugars are more often than not hidden. And this really increases the glucose load in your diet. Ironically, this has not reduced the rate of heart attacks or heart diseases in India. In fact, in the recent past, we have seen a significant increase in the rate of heart attacks and heart disease. Which means that while the fat-free industry grew and made money feeding on this fear, your health further declined. Recent studies show that Indian population has a 20 to 30% higher risk of mortality due to heart diseases as compared to any other population. In fact, today, a staggering 62% of the deaths in our country happen because of non-communicable diseases, which includes cardiovascular diseases, even cognitive decline, all of which are closely linked to metabolic syndrome. Metabolic syndrome is a combination of multiple disorders in your metabolic processes. A recent study, I think this was 2020, showed that almost 30% of the adult population in India already has metabolic syndrome. To be honest, in the last 6 months, every single blood report that I have seen, irrespective of the symptoms, had metabolic syndrome. Alright, let's break this down. First, it's important to understand that high cholesterol alone is not the real culprit. In fact, diets that are high in highly refined and highly processed foods or just have a high glucose load lead to metabolic disorders which include insulin resistance, high belly fat, inflammation, oxidative stress, and high blood pressure. Now let's take a closer look to understand how a diet with high glucose load is linked to heart disease. Now, when you have a diet that's high in glucose load, your body has to continuously keep releasing insulin. Eventually, your insulin receptors get tired and stop responding, which causes insulin resistance. Now here, you have high levels of glucose in your blood, but also have high levels of insulin in your blood. This can lead to oxidative stress and chronic inflammation, both of which can damage your endothelial cells, which is the delicate lining inside your blood vessels. This damage can become the first step for the cascading effect of what we know as cardiometabolic issues. Now, at any given point in time, your body can handle approximately 5 grams of free sugar in your blood. This is literally just 1 teaspoon. For context, take a minute to calculate the amount of glucose you may have ingested in your previous meal. Or better still, calculate the amount of glucose you may have ingested in a previous beverage. Now, all this excessive glucose is sent to your cells for energy production, which can be used for an immediate bout of exercise or sports. If not, the rest of it is stored, and your body converts glucose into triglycerides for storage through a process known as lipogenesis. Yes, glucose gets converted to triglycerides. And that is why a diet that's high in glucose load, if it's not accompanied by high activity levels to burn off this excess energy, it is accompanied by high levels of triglyceride. And this is something we commonly know as the most dangerous form of cholesterol, right? By the way, your muscles have the ability of storing glucose directly in the form of glycogen so that they can immediately use it for activity. And that is the reason why the more lean muscle you build, the better your body is at balancing blood sugar. Let's take a minute to address the cholesterol myth. See, cholesterol is not the enemy. In fact, it is extremely essential for your health. Cholesterol plays a role in many beneficial processes, including the creation of bile salt, estrogen, cortisol, vitamin D, even CoQ10. That is why you shouldn't fear cholesterol, instead understand it. See, it's not the total number of cholesterol alone that matters. You need to look at the whole picture, which includes the density, the type, the number of particles and the size. Let's understand why. When your blood vessels are damaged or inflamed, this can happen because of various reasons like oxidative stress from high blood glucose levels or a lot of toxins from pollution, smoking, processed foods, even high levels of stress. Then, the small LDL particles can penetrate through the cracks in your blood vessel. After penetration, if you have high levels of toxins or heavy metals in your blood, this goes through oxidation. Or it goes through glycation if you have high levels of blood sugar. This triggers your body's natural defense mechanism, which leads to plaque buildup. That is why just looking at the total cholesterol levels is not enough. There are a couple of key markers that you should look at alongside. Number 1, triglyceride to HDL ratios. For peak health, this should be less than 1. However, if it is above 3, that can be a warning sign. Number 2, HDL levels. Your HDL levels are extremely important. Even if your total cholesterol is normal, but your HDL is low, that is a problem. Number 3, ApoB. ApoB along with LDL is a fantastic marker to assess your risk for heart disease. LP small a. This is a great marker to understand your genetic risk for heart disease. While it can be a little difficult to change this by just lifestyle modifications, it is a great marker to understand your genetic risk. Today, functional medicine understands that cardiovascular disease is part of a bigger picture, and that is why it is known as cardiometabolic disease. So your metabolic health affects every single aspect of your body, including your heart. Let's take a look at a few key markers. Number 1 is inflammation. This can be seen through biomarkers like hsCRP and ESR. But what causes inflammation? Number 1 is gut dysbiosis. Research shows that an imbalanced gut microbiome can lead to systematic inflammation. Another big driver of inflammation is belly fat. See, belly fat is metabolically active and highly inflammatory. Even if your weight is ideal or your BMI is ideal, but you have accumulated belly fat, you are at an extremely high risk for metabolic syndrome. Now, we've already seen how inflammation is the first step that can lead to damage of your endothelial cells. Number 2 is homocysteine levels. High homocysteine levels are also a great indication of inflammation and methylation imbalances. Number 3 is insulin resistance. We've already seen how insulin resistance is the problem. Looking at your fasting glucose level, fasting insulin levels are a great starting point to understand if you have insulin resistance. But remember, when analyzing your report, look at it from optimal ranges and not reference ranges. If you don't know the difference, please check out the video called What Gets Measured Gets Managed. And lastly, GGT levels are a great indicator of oxidative stress. Let's take a quick look at a couple of other factors that increase your risk for heart disease. Now, we've already understood how oxidative stress is caused by toxin exposure through pollution, smoking, processed foods. But 2 other factors that lead to oxidative stress are poor sleep and high mental stress. Next is hormonal imbalances. Today, functional medicine recognizes that low testosterone levels in men and hormonal imbalances like PCOS in women are linked to a high risk for cardiovascular disease. Lastly, COVID vaccination. There's emerging evidence that show a potential link between increased coagulation after COVID vaccination and risk for heart disease. Alright, so to summarize, don't just look at your cholesterol levels, look at the whole picture so you can adjust your lifestyle to optimize your bioparameters. See, some of these can be easy, some of this will require consistent work. That is why biohacking is a lifestyle. So here are the top 5 biohacks for optimizing your heart health. Number 1, optimize sleep. Poor quality sleep or less sleep is a direct contribution to reducing your health span and increasing oxidative stress. Number 2, manage inflammation by taking care of your gut health and reducing mental stress. Try incorporating healthy foods and mindful practices. Number 3 is reduce your toxin exposure. That means no smoking, no alcohol, no processed foods, and ideally no pollution. Number 4, build lean muscle. This is one of the best ways to balance your blood sugars, reduce your belly fat, reduce inflammation, and increase your health span. Simply start strength training along with some low-intensity cardio like walking. Number 5 is optimize your metabolic health. We just saw how metabolic health is directly linked to your heart health. By the way, Mediterranean diet is one of the most research-backed diets to improve your metabolic health. This simply includes lean, clean proteins, healthy fats, fruits, vegetables, and some whole grains. See, metabolic syndrome is a real problem in India, and it is directly linked to your risk for heart disease. The good news is you can reverse it by addressing the root causes. This is exactly why I'm conducting a 90-day bootcamp for metabolic age reversal at the Biohackers Club. If you're ready to take charge of your health, optimize your metabolic function, and reduce your risk for heart disease, this one is for you. Check the link in the description to register, and together, let's take charge of our health.